Hey guys, welcome back to the journey. So, yeah, as you see out here in the smithy, if you're new here, go ahead, give us that thumbs up, share us out to your friends. Maybe even throw us that subscribe. Hey, it's free, it doesn't hurt nothing, and we definitely appreciate you guys being here and helping us out on our journey. Whew, rain, 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 rain. Man, so many things that we want to get done, but it's constantly rain. And as you can see, everything is soaking wet. A little flooding here, a little flooding there. I'm actually standing out here in the mud in my Hey Dudes. But I'm not getting wet. I am in a covered area, a little RV area to be able to do blacksmithing or do whatever it is that I do out here. Make a mess 9 times out of 10. I'm going to try to stay dry the best I can. It's not supposed to rain all day today. It is actually supposed to stop by noon-ish. It's 10:41. It's not currently raining, but anyway, enough yak. Let's get to working on this project. I got my cord tied up out of the mud. So let's go ahead and get this plate secured up into the vise, and then we'll get to cutting. Before you get started, always get safety glasses and Air Pro. So let me go get some hair protections. All right, for my hair protection, I actually still want to thank IsoTunes for everything that they've done for us, to include sending my daughter a pair of headphones, not only one, but 2 pair over time. And we are affiliated with them. We are not sponsored by them, however. But I do always have a link down in our description to every single video, or as many videos as I can remember to put it in. Go check them out. Links down in the description. So let's get to cutting up this metal. I got my 2 sides, so these will be just like this, and then I'll have another block in between, and this is going to be for no welding. So if you guys don't own a welder, you don't need one, because these are actually going to be bolted together, and that process is going to be fun once I get to that. I'm just glad that I do have a drill press. If you do not, you don't necessarily need one. A hand drill will do, but it will make it a little more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and knock these where I need to be. So let me go ahead and get these cut up, and then I'll come back to you guys with the next part of what I'm going to do to make the hole. All right, so I got my plates cut, and then now I need to make this square here, and then you can see I actually have drill marks that I want to set. So instead of laying out these lines, I want to do the drill marks first to include up here, and I'm going to drill those first, and then I will, wherever the drill marks are, because it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, because it's just an opening. The actual piece that I'm going to be utilizing for my dies that goes on the inside, that's what needs to be a little more perfect, but still you have a little bit of play on the inside, or I can even take off a little bit of material for my dies. But let's get these marked out, and then I'm going to attempt to clamp these together. That way I only have to drill once through both plates, but if not, I'll do it twice. It's going to be hard for you to see because I'm doing it in pencil instead of the soapstone, just because I can get a little bit better line, a little closer. So that's going to be a center line. I don't know if I can. So I'm just putting a center line. And then I need to come up with 1.5. 1.5. What I love about these combination squares is, even though this one's hard to read, I put it at 1.5. And then I get my line, and then I can also move it back, get a square. I can verify which I'm utilizing the factory edge, but always check those because they may not always be square. Okay. And then the opening itself is 2.5 inches wide by 3 inches tall. So if I set that at 4.5, should give me what I need. And then from there, do 1.25, 1.25. Now give me the 1.5. Or, sorry, strike that, 2.5. Right? I said it was 2.5 inches wide. I connect those together. You should be able to see that. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, because I still want my lines, which I'll do the lines with the soapstone, because I'm actually going to make these to where I'm drilling a hole first, but I want to drill the hole right here where my opening is, but then the opening is going to come, so it's going to be basically a line, and then like a hole, a line, then a hole. Instead of putting the lines at the edge and just having like a rounded edge, I don't know, it's to me, I guess it's going to be more like a design feature, but the line will almost go to the center of the hole. So whenever I'm cutting this out, because I'm going to be utilizing my angle grinder to cut this, and it's going to be basically right in the center of the hole to hole. That way it'll allow me to to cut that out the best I can, even if I have to do it from both sides. And you'll see whenever I get there. But let me go ahead and punch, get a center punch for the drill bit. So I need to actually redo this punch. There we go. That one was just a hair off. Let's see if I can't get it corrected. And now, like I said, I'll come back in here with soapstone. It's a lot easier seeing that when you're doing the cutting wheel. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this over to the drill press. We'll get these drilled out. I'm going to do one plate, and then I'm going to set this plate on top of the other plate to kind of get my little pilots instead of clamping them both together, because I don't think, I can try to clamp them together, but I don't want it to move whenever I'm trying to do that. So just in case, I'm going to go ahead and do one plate at a time, and then I'll get, because I don't have the tool that you can put through the hole to get like a center mark. I can always try to do that later, but let's go ahead and get this one knocked out. We'll get the other one knocked out, and then I got to do the groove at the top. We'll do that one as well next, and then I'm going to show you what materials we're going to be utilizing for the sides to get this bolted together and get it spaced out. So my drill press is still actually on our trailer, flatbed trailer, car hauler trailer. So I need to get this thing inside as soon as possible so it's not just out here in the elements, which, it is covered, but it's still, you can see I'm going to have to clean this thing up a lot because it's getting surface rust. So as soon as I can get into a shop, get it cleaned up. Like that, all the pilot holes are done. Now, if you don't feel confident in doing that without clamping your piece to your table, then don't do that. Either get some type of vise for your drill press or utilize a clamp. Now, whenever I move up to the bigger drill bit, I will be utilizing a clamp to clamp this to the table because you do not want this thing swinging around and smacking you in the hand. I know that's bumpy and whatnot. Hopefully you guys were able to see that okay as I was drilling the pilot holes and all the other stuff. But so before I get it clamped down, I just kind of knock off that edge a little bit. Just be able to, it helps with getting this drill bit centered. And yes, I did drill the other plate before switching out. You guys just didn't see that. So that's what I do, is I get this plate centered where I need it to be, and then I take my C-clamp, get it onto my table, and then from here I can clamp it down, because I do not have a vise for my drill press table yet. It's coming eventually. But let's go ahead and get all these drilled out, and then I'll be right back with you, because the belt on this drill press, whenever it's at the lowest speed, I don't know if it's something on the pulley itself or something that's on the belt itself. It doesn't do the vibration nowhere near as much as the higher speeds. So something I have not looked closely into yet. But I'm going to go ahead and get all this drilled out, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, so we got all the holes drilled out. So let's go ahead and we'll get the notch done first, and then we'll come back and we'll do the hole in the center. That's just like that, and I'll get in there and I'll clean that up with the file, and then also take off any of the rough edges. But that's the look I was going for. So let me get this one cut out, the other plate cut out, and I'll come right on back. So they're not like 100% perfect to each other. That's fine. That's basically what I was going for. And once I get these bolted together, I can always refine that to make that look better. But I am going to be knocking off the edges to where it's not sharp. But these are done for as far as I need to get them right now, until I can get the bolts. I'm not going to drill those holes yet. So let's go ahead and work on the side pieces, what I'm going to show you for that. All right, so the thickness of these plates, of how far apart they are going to be, is really going to determine of what you are utilizing for your dies that goes on the inside. So for me, I'm actually going to be utilizing some truck leaf spring steel. So this is a fairly hard tool steel, and mine is 1/2 inch thick. So I need this plate, or these plates, to be 1/2 inch, give or take a little bit. If I need to throw in like a card or something like that as a shim, I can do that. And I'll get to that later, or even if I need to get some like real thin sheet metal for a shim, then I'll do that. Or I can even sand this down, because I already need to clean this face up a little bit. So I do know that it's going to be a little bit less. And for this thing to move, you only need like the thousandths of an inch for that to be able to move in that slot. If you want it to be a little more sloppy, that's fine. You can add in, because for one, this is something that you really want it to be easy to use, especially as a blacksmith. So a little bit of slop is okay. You don't want the tolerances being super, super tight. So for me, I also want this tool to be able to sit on my anvil, and I want it to be able to go into my hardy. That way I can actually put a hardy shank. So this is going to be my hardy shank that I'm going to utilize. Now this is actually too big for what I need it to be for the thickness of this. Because if I'm putting this in between there, it's going to be too big. So I do need to make this a little bit smaller to be able to fit in there. And I'm just going to cut that vise, trying to forge that. And that's actually going to go in roughly here onto the sides. And it's going to be bolted in with 2 holes. And then I'm going to have a spacer on the top with 2 holes. And then the other side is going to be the full length metal to where all 4 holes are going into that. I am drilling the holes on the side. As you can kind of see, if the light will cooperate with me. I am trying to get this one a little more precise than what the big holes, even though they did line up fairly well, they weren't perfect. And I would like these holes to be just a little more precise. And right now these are pilot holes, and then I'll go to the next bigger size for the bolts. All right, you guys, so I've gotten to the point where I've gotten the holes drilled, and I kind of show you that setup, what I was doing, or I guess I showed you the setup because I already showed you before I got here. But I went ahead and put that plate that I'm going to be using. So this is going to be the top die, and it has like that little symbol, the sidewinder and all that. It's kind of cool. But I went ahead and put that in. The reason why I put the bolts here and here is because this bar is what I'm using for the hardy shank. And that's actually going to be going into the slot here, like that. And this one is actually 5/8 thick. So what I wanted to do with that was basically get that to where that's going to be flush on that side, kind of like this. But I still need to get that to go in a little more. And then I'm going to mark where the holes are going to be. And it's also flush. I don't know if you can kind of see in there, but it's also flush up against that die, because all the other pieces that I have, they're thicker than 5/8. So they're going to stick out of the side a little bit, which is fine, because these are all like right at an inch. And I only needed 3/4 of an inch to be able to do what I was doing. Because you can see if I stick this, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. But anyway, you can see those are going to go here. But I want to mark this one first of where the bolts are going to go. So I want to mark this one first of where these bolts are going to go. Drill that. And then I can bolt this side and then do the other plate next. And then once I've done that, this side will be done. Then I can flip it over and kind of do the same thing on the other side. Which I might even just do this one first, kind of leave this the same, and then do this whole other side. But anyway, you kind of see the sun's starting to go down, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. But within YouTube magic, stick around, because I'm going to be coming back tomorrow, and to you guys, it's going to be literally like 3, 2, 1. And just like that, in 3 seconds time, is boom, the next day. And you might tell that the audio is going to be a little different. I do have my wireless mics today because I need to make sure my phone is plugged in, because it was only at 20%. Yes, I do record from my phone. It does record up to 4K. 60 frames per second. On this side, if I flip it the other way, I can actually record up to 8K if I wanted to. So I think it does an okay job for recording video until I can afford to get something better. Because my GoPro is only it's a GoPro 7 Silver, so old school. But anyway, from what I left you guys at, this is basically where I'm at now. So I went ahead and did the other side, and you can kind of see what I'd done with a clamp on this side. So I already have those pieces in there. So I did the same thing. I just clamped on both ends with my metal in there. So right now the metal's tight. I can't move it by hand. So everything is clamped in there tightly to get a nice tight tolerance. And then I will add shims as required once I've cleaned up this piece here, to make sure that it goes and that it slides as needed. And then on the bottom, I'm also going to drill probably one hole. I might do two, to be able to hold in the bottom, because it's I don't know, I might even just do one. So as it's sitting in there, it's not going to want to bounce out. It should not do that, but in the event that it does want to, it won't be able to come out because I'm going to pin it. But you guys already know from previous that the whole trailer shakes up where I have the drill press. I could probably get you guys turned around and you can kind of look at that setup I got going. So the trailer, you can see the drill press sitting up there, or right there. And yeah, whether I was pointing right to it or not, I think it's on the other side. It's behind the generator box, and it's a nice Grizzly floor mounted drill press. It does great. But in that lowest speed, it bounces and bounces and bounces. But anyway, you guys aren't here to watch me talk, so let me get back to drilling these here. I'm just going to do it right quick and then come back to you guys. All right? All right, so I went ahead and got it all done. Everything's all bolted together, but as you can see, this does not move. So let's go ahead and get everything loosened up. We'll get this part out. I'll go get the items or the tools that I need to get that cleaned up. And then I'm also going to go ahead and trim off the excess on the sides, get everything sanded up really nice, get it all cleaned up really nice, then get it put back together. And at that point, it's going to be to start forming our dies, because I do want to have a flat. I do want to have a why can't I think of it? Is a 1/2 inch round on basically in the middle, and then on the other side, I want it to be angled. That way, I can put in a shoulder. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what that's called right now. I'm going to have to look that up, and I'll put it down here at the bottom of the screen. But it's cold today. I don't know if you can see my breath. I'm only out here in a hoodie. I probably should be in a bigger jacket. And my hands are like, oh, they're super stiff right now. But I'm going to go get some tools. I might go throw on another jacket. And yeah, I'll be right back. Well, I think you guys get the point. That's what I want to do. Get it cut off, get it flattened down, get it somewhat prettied up. It is a tool that takes abuse for the most part, but so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this out. Well, I'm gonna loosen this up, get this out. There's no trying, and then I'm gonna get everything prettied up. I don't think you guys need to see what I'm gonna do with the dies, because you're gonna make your own dies the way you want them anyway. All right, so for that, I'm gonna go ahead and call this a finished tool. I am gonna go ahead and get it cleaned up off camera, but this is a tool I've needed for quite a while, especially for the tools that I'm wanting to make, and it's gonna get a lot of uses put out. All right, also, I definitely appreciate you guys following along the journey. And if you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe. Go ahead, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's greatly appreciated. It helps us out. Share us out to your friends. Click that thumbs up button, because it also helps the whole algorithm thing. Greatly appreciated. And another tool in the bag. It's awesome. I can't wait to get it put to use. But always thank a veteran at every chance you get, not only on Veterans Day. All right, y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.